All right, what's up, everybody? Somebody's tired of the music. Well, I got news for you. We have a lot of music here. This is not your 30-second news report, right? So what's going on? Hey, Don, what's up? Shawnee, Thomas, Stephanie Stokes. That's our original Back in the Cone again before Andy Simmons came along. So I don't want to not play Andy, but we have to play that one for old time's sake, right? That was our first song 2 years ago. And it's catchy, right? All right, so we're looking at radar. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the what ifs here. Tropical Depression 3 could be already Cristobal right now. The latest satellite imagery. Here's radar out of Mexico. And I actually got this off of our buddy Casper's site. If you remember, Casper shared his site, so I was able to go to Mexico and get some radar. That was cool, right? Yeah, hey, Brian, what's up? Okay, so we got a lot to talk about. Ooh, let me turn my ringer off because that thing's going to go crazy all the time. We don't want to hear that thing beeping. All right, cool. So let's talk weather. We got, let's see, let's put the web page on. I got some links opened up I was already looking at. There's our page. So let's go to our sponsors page, my tradition that I forgot to start here while we... It takes time for everybody to get notified, so I usually ramble the first few minutes anyways because we want everybody to join, right? So let's see what ABC's cooking today. We'll bring up their page and we'll say thanks to them real quick, and then we'll start talking weather. All right, here's a new one. All right, so this is our Facebook sponsor, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. They're out of Florida here, and they support Mike and all you drunk donkeys out there. So we support them, right? So big thanks to ABC. And today they are promoting 622. I guess that's wine. I don't know. Yeah, it's wine. So, all right, thanks to them. Thanks to all the supporters out there, and you guys rock for sure. So, all right, so let's talk tropics. Here's the latest. I'll try to get into it. I'll try to read comments, get a pulse of what everybody's asking. Yeah, Levi's site's great. Levi's actually working now for, I believe, the National Hurricane Center or NOAA, one of the two. So that's great. We'll stay little guys. We'll stay armchair meteorologists, right? So here's the latest. All right, this was 8 o'clock. So one thing to note about hurricanes, they only update tracks 4 times a day. The intermediate advisories that come out at 8 and 2 are just a recap, basically, of the track from 5 and 11. Or in this case, it'll be 10 a.m. because they're going on Central Daylight Time. So here's the latest. Interesting to note. All right, so the biggest changes here are the models have definitely backed off of a huge dip down into Mexico. A lot of that has to just do with the geography of this whole Bay of Campeche. Yesterday's Euro had it dipping way down, almost dissipating, while all the models now are keeping it, and the official forecast is the same. So this thing's going to hover around just a couple days. The 3-day cone is here. So basically, it's not going to move for a couple days. There's an outside chance it goes down into Mexico, possibly re-loses the center, and then it would emerge back up, starts to get pulled northward. The pull northward is almost a guarantee. If it's dissipated 100%, then it would actually become Dolly, believe it or not. But those chances are looking less likely. So let's show you all the models. So that was that. The official forecast, again, if we go to the discussion, the NHC is doing their normal, which is great, a slow progression of strength up to 65 miles an hour in 5 days. All right, so unfortunately, tropical systems take time to develop, and this one's going to have a few days over water to organize, and that's what we got to watch. The Euro ensembles we've been showing a lot have been showing hurricanes, and the latest run of the Euro is actually showing a hurricane. And by the way, today is a Dunkin' Donuts day. Emily guilted me to take her to Dunkin' before her softball camp. So I'm ditching Louie. What's up? It's Mike question mark. What's up? Hey, Monica. Yeah, we haven't really talked too much yet, so All right, so people have froze. No, I shouldn't have froze. Nah, that's Facebook for you. I'm still streaming on mine. Internet around the world has frozen. What is up? I'm not frozen. Live video did not stop. I'm watching it. Nope, Casper's saying I'm frozen too. I don't know. I'm watching it on my phone right now. Did the world just hiccup? The internet just hiccup? All right, I'll wait a minute. I should not have frozen. That must be Facebook. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait to Facebook to get back online here. It was not on my end because I did not freeze. I'm watching it on my my phone, so we didn't talk about anything. All I'm talking about is this. All right, so NHC is definitely mentioning the fact that we could see a strengthening tropical storm on day 5, 65 miles an hour. So the thing we got to worry about, obviously, is what happens day 6, day 7 into Sunday, Monday. If this thing has a couple more days over water. All right, so I'm gonna start chatting now because I guess I'm not frozen. All right, so we got a new NHC advisory coming out in about an hour, and this will be very important because there's a lot of indicators now that we could possibly be seeing. Here, let me show you the latest spaghetti models. Let's just see if they came out. The 12Z models have not come out yet, so we'll wait. Any minute, we're going to have a fresh batch of spaghetti models from Tropical Tidbits is one site we use. But there you go. This is the general poll, okay? It has not changed. The UK is the big outlier showing possible Panhandle, Alabama. The Euro is the more western side into Texas, Louisiana. So that's, I showed a lot today. Let's see how can we do this here. What's up, Taylor? Verizon has issues. Okay, good to know. There's our NASA girl. What's up, Sheila Ross? All right, so how can we do this to make sense? There's so many variables here. Let's take a look at Weather Nerds. This is this morning's radar. Lots of convection here going on right now over what appears to be center. So the hurricane hunters will be heading in, but they might designate this thing by 11 o'clock, which doesn't mean much, except it'd be a name, Cristobal. So, watching radar, now that the center is actually over water, it's going to have more of a chance to really get boom. And you can see these storms really boom around the center right now. These last few frames, bam. And that's exactly where center is right now. So the center is definitely firing off thunderstorms right now currently. And there you go. There's the center looking at wind satellite. So it's firing. Definitely firing. The big question the next 2 days, how close to the coast will it go? The steering currents are extremely light right now, and it's just going to kind of wobble around here for a couple days. Unfortunately, the rain event in Central America here into the Yucatan has been pretty heavy, and that's going to maintain for the next couple of days. But the more time this thing hangs out right here at the bay's always had a way of spinning up systems. The winds with the curvature of land has always had a way of helping tropical systems develop. So that's what we're witnessing right now. We're watching the birth of Cristobal and what's next. All right, so let's show you some long-range models. Let's go to Levi's site. Well, then we'll come back and we'll have fresh spaghetti in the models. But we'll go right into the Euro. The Euro, to me, has been the most consistent in the last several days. We're going to go Levi's site, tropicaltidbits.com. It's free. But this is what's going on, and this is not concerning, but we see slow trends in models with strengthening. And it's going to be a wide system, no doubt. And wide systems take longer to consolidate. But if we're already starting to see a center now, it's already almost 1,001 millibars. So it's technically not that wide. So I'm really watching the chances of developing into a hurricane and possibly, a little bit more. The Gulf waters, let me show you this little graphic right here. I didn't share this yesterday, but I figure everybody watching are fans and can take it for what it's worth. It's a maximum hurricane intensity model. Oh, what the hell? The domain has expired. That's not my domain. Could it be true? I just had it yesterday. What the heck? Oh my God. That weather guru is going to be in trouble. But anyway, it showed the Gulf waters are definitely warm enough to sustain more than a Cat 1, more than a Cat 2. So anyway, bottom line, the water temp's definitely hot enough. Upper shear is expected to weaken some. So anyway, let's look at the Euro. Here's the latest run. Hanging around the bay. This is Wednesday morning. Slow progression north beginning on Friday. Here's Saturday, 988, and it does strengthen it down into 970 bar-ish hurricane. Sunday into Monday morning, we would be looking at potential landfall. Let's zoom in on that just a little bit more. And again, I try to talk and then I'll start reading more because I don't want to get too sidetracked. Misha, yeah, that's not my website. Somebody forgot to pay their domain fees at the start of hurricane season. So it's probably a good thing I didn't show it because it kind of looks kind of scary. It's a what if. All it showed, which I was kind of surprised, is it's some formula that was calculated that shows the potential for, if everything else is perfect, we could see a major hurricane. Put it to you that way. That's if the water would support it along with the winds. That's the perfect scenario this time. So we'll watch that. Just keep that in the back of your mind. There's an outside chance, this could be a little bit stronger than a weak hurricane. That's all. And there's some European ensembles saying 970 into 960. But we'll show the official one. Let's zoom in a little bit closer here on pressures and see exactly. So this is the overnight run, European model, showing a landfall potentially early Monday morning, Texas, Louisiana state line. That's been the trend. 978 pressure, even there, 978 could technically be, could maybe be a 2. That's what I'm saying. I don't like slow trends getting stronger. This is an old Saffir-Simpson scale, showed 978, could potentially be a 2. So, could. That's not a forecast. It's just telling you what the Euro's saying. And it's been a trend. It's been a strengthening trend for that. All right. So since we're on this site, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest GFS. And that was, it's been slowly being a little more consistent on a landfall more up into Louisiana, and then that turn. And it's important to note too, listen, this has not changed. We're seeing a slow northeast push, and we have a high pressure coming across that is eventually going to block it from the east side, and it's going to push it west, and all the models show that northwest turn right at the last second. So it looks like it's coming here, and then it turns, and all the models are showing that. The Euro, all these models continue to show a northward movement and then a turn to the northwest. See that turn? Now let's go to a couple other models. The UK has been the only outlier showing a little more eastward movement, and it takes its time. It goes towards the Panhandle, Mobile, New Orleans area, and then it turns. See that big turn? Everybody's predicting that turn. It's a race. If it gets there quicker, it goes more northeast. If it goes there slower, the turn is later. And here's the Euro, show that again. So the turn appears confident that this turn is coming. What I'm more concerned about is what it gets to do, these 2 or 3 days. As we've seen, Gulf blobs and squalls have been the story of the season. And we have seen, not to say that's a forecast too, but a lot of times weather trends repeat themselves. And this year we have seen A lot of storms blow up in the Gulf. The water's extremely warm compared to, not extremely warm, but definitely warmer than average. Here's the icon, or the axis model, by the way. This is showing that north turn and then the northwest turn. And that actually keeps it along the coast a little bit. So could be some big rains coming, no doubt. So that's that one. Then we got one more model to look at, the icon. And the icon's doing the same thing. Oh, that one's still running. So we'll go overnight. Here's the icon. There's a turn. That's more like the Euro. Look at that. Boom. So turn is coming. You know, Florida, very little worry or very little watching. Well, we got to watch, but the one trickery of this whole thing is this. Yeah, the turn. But you know what's funny about this turn? Normally the turns are to the east. This is a very odd turn if you think about it, because this is the year of the front. Well, has been the year of the fronts, and fronts open up the door and move these things north to east. But think about the oddity of this, that we're seeing a system not being affected by any fronts, because currently the jet stream forecast, and I show this because the jet stream indicates a lot on how much wind shear we're going to have at the time. And if we look at the wind shear forecast, which is somewhere on my site, where the heck is it? There's wind shear, or jet stream forecast. So jet stream forecast still depicting our jet to the north, and this is Wednesday. Here's Thursday. That's why all the storms are up north. Here's Friday. Here's Saturday. So there's really no dip coming in fronts. So that is going to also allow a little less shear down here because we don't have a fast jet. That's just one of the factors that could help a slow strengthening. Here's your jet currently. Jet stream way to the north. So very light winds currently, not very light, but lighter than normal this time of year. Shear map here showing, 20, 30 knots, weakening some around our system. All this is pushing on out. So shear tendencies dropping in the Gulf. The little light blue lines kind of indicate future shear forecasts dropping. So, that's aiding in development. And then, of course, we have the MJO I keep showing, but it's a big player in the tropics. Still forecast green, which is enhanced convection for the next 2 weeks. So this is where we're at. Green means increased storm activity, more juicy, less dry. Hey, Crystal, the turn west is coming. It's pretty cool to see. We'll go back to tropical tidbits. Learned so much over the years. A big factor in storm movement is the middle atmosphere, and you can see it really well on his site. If you go to the 500 millibar, well, I kind of like the other colors. Let me go back to the other colors. Not that one. Hold on. I think I know the site by now. So let's go back to this color. This one. There we go. All right. So the blues are low pressure. The oranges are high pressures. So basically, it all comes down to this. Here's our little system brewing. Cristobal. High pressure here, building over the middle U.S., right? It's going to push it a little to the northeast. This high pressure comes in, right? Little bit of push. And then it starts to build on the backside and comes around the backside of Cristobal and pretty much only allows him this path on the backside of that high. That's pretty fascinating. Now, these things change a lot. High pressure, low pressure. We saw it with Sandy. It was a race with Sandy. Sandy had a dome of high pressure, and some of the models had it going, out to sea. Some of it had it going east. And at least this model, the only question would be more of we don't have any showing that crazy turn to Florida. So we're not talking a huge variance now on who's going to get it. The Euro, there you go. See the high building back in between another low pressure. So basically, it's high pressure to the north, builds in over Florida, and it only allows one way for our system to go. So that seems confident. The first one was CMC. This is GFS, kind of showing you that. All right. So there's that. Let's talk about range real quick, because a curious thing is happening here. I seen local forecasts now showing rain estimates, at least for Florida, for example. I mean, we can look at the official rain maps here, but this is going to change. I'm telling you. This is 5 day out. Let's go to 7 day, because that's not even showing landfall yet. 7 day. All right. So if Cristobal turns into a tight little hurricane, tighter than a wide hurricane or wide tropical storm, then Florida is not going to get some of these rains that's being indicated right now. So, yes, you're going to have rains in the Panhandle. Yes, definitely rains all the way to Texas. No, but the Florida rains are going to be what you need to watch, because it's not going to be a complete washout, and that's because the models right now are being tricked. They're not assuming that a hurricane could be coming, and a hurricane tightens up the moisture field, and I'll show you that, because we have a lot of Florida fans. So let's just do the radar. The radar is kind of hard on the Euro to see, but that's normal stuff there. But let me just show you the precipitation totals in a 24-hour pan. So as we go into Wednesday, this is more afternoon stuff. Here's Thursday, but then we get a 24. Now we're in a 24-hour rain cycle. So here's Saturday. Here's our system starting to show up on the radar for Cristobal. But your Saturday rains are starting right now, and look at Sunday, almost nothing. So I'm just going through Saturday and Sunday right here, the weekend. All that other rain's kind of hard to predict. That's more afternoon leading up to it. But so if the Euro is right and it pulls more towards the west, then obviously the rains in Florida are going to be less. But the southeast, we can look at that real quick since we're on the Euro. Southeast rains, then we'll look at Texas rains. 24-hour rains here for the southeast. 24-hour rains. 24-hour rains are good because you can kind of see it come at you. And here's the progression. Thursday, pushing the blob. Then, boom, there's our storm. You can see the spiraling coming up. So the big rains from Cristobal could start impacting lower Louisiana Saturday late, maybe Saturday night, but more than likely Sunday morning we start to get the big rain bands coming in. And we could have big totals. Look at that rain training. This is tropical rain trains. Look at that. The Euro showing the bandings of rain. So even with the Texas Louisiana landfall, even Texas landfall, east side of the storm always gets the heavy stuff. And we're going to see this all the way up here. That means surge. We're starting to talk about surge, because if it's a hurricane, it's a hurricane. It's not. We're not talking little storms anymore. This is, real stuff. So there's our potential rains spiraling in, and then of course Texas. We'll go to Texas real quick. So all this stuff ahead of it is more just convection firing, not the storm. There's the storm. All right, so let's go to Texas real quick. Show you the rains, what they might get if the Euro is correct. And then we'll talk about everything else. Anything else we'll talk about. So there's that. I always like to show the rain potentials, because that was like something with Harvey they didn't talk a lot about. And obviously that was the story. So here's our storm. You can see it kind of take that path up through the state line there. So, ironically, a lot of the heavy rain is going to be well to the east. But, white pockets, 6, 7, 8 inches. So, and then red pockets, 3, 4 inches. And that's total. This is total precip for the whole event. So, yeah, red's 3, 4, 5 inches. So, Middle Texas up. Little shift west, obviously Houston's right here, so I'd be watching close on that. All right, so at least we're not getting no crazy flooding event totals like we've seen with other systems, right? Darcel, I think landfall is definitely inching towards Sunday, Monday at the latest, just based on the models. You know, I always forget the whole point of spaghetti models is to look at the models, and when you have a lot of model consistency and you know, you don't get straight on individual runs, you know, intensity forecast again, you know, I think it's going to be interesting. I think the talk is going to become a little more, we could possibly see a hurricane. Not that I'm wishing it at all. I just like to let people know, you know, what we could be looking at. Let's see if the new models came out. 12Z models. Not yet. I wonder what the heck the delay is. Usually they come out by now, so they're running behind. So these are old. Sometimes we can see them here. There's another spaghetti model map. Southwest Florida Water Management. You can basically see. Now let's show you the UK, okay? The UK models are the outlier. Now last year the UK was an outlier. Remember we were watching a storm last year? I don't remember the name, but it was trending west. So you always got to take into account the UK is a decent model. I do believe it's a little too far to the east, though. Here's the latest European ensembles showing you all the different thinking of the Euro. So pretty much all the Euro models are getting very tightly clustered on this little S. So that's good, at least to know who should be really watching close. And yeah, the worry word now could become a little more used because you could possibly looking at a hurricane this weekend. And that's big, right? Possibly category 2. I'm throwing it out there. The H. Wharf and H. Mon, Greg, they're supposed to be hurricane specific models, and they're 50-50, honestly. I like to look at a blend of the two, and if they have back-to-back consistent, what you see with those models, sometimes they go extreme and then they back off, and then they go extreme and then they back off. So anyway, there's the European ensembles. Let's look at the GFS ensembles. Not a lot of them right now, but you can see that general path. GFS keeping it more of a tropical storm, low-end hurricane, like high-end tropical storm. And here's the UK models. These are the ones that are a little more extremist to the east. So, not saying that's not a possibility. It's just that it's an outlier right now. So, just keep that in the back of your mind. Quicker moving system here has less time to strengthen, but here's a slower moving system. So some of the UK ensembles that go off to the west have it a day or two longer over water, and this time frame would actually be earlier in the weekend. We could possibly see it. So anyway, no hurricane, just potential. 65 mile an hour is the last official update from the NHC as far as 5-day winds go. So that you know, they're seeing a slow jump. I'm telling you, we talked about it yesterday. They always start out conservative, which is great. You know, never knocking what they do. I just know the conditions are favorable for this to slowly develop. And you know, we get a new advisory at 10. Who's to say? Maybe the last little dot would be an H. They really want to wait and see, though, what this thing does in the bay. I guarantee it. If this thing is able to stay over land or off of land, it's definitely got a good chance to become something stronger. Stronger. All right, so what else is cooking out? Anybody saying I'm hyping yet? I always get that one. Board up your windows. I did not board up my windows for Irma until Irma was like 12 hours away. Uh, Sherry, I expect more impacts in Louisiana with rain than I mean, definitely coastal Texas if there is a landfall, obviously. East side of the storm brings the rain and the surge. If this thing stays over water, yeah, then they're going to ramp up the intensity forecast. I guarantee it. We have seen the Gulf blow up this year, and that's been my thing since day one with this. Is let's watch the Gulf because the Gulf has allowed some pretty big blow-ups. We saw squall lines all year blow up. So, no, that's not even. That's just a gut feeling. That's all. And we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't. But we have a loop eddy. Yes, Jasmine, we have a loop eddy, which is a warm pocket of water. I can't believe that site's offline. Let me try it again. I think Casper mentioned it yesterday, and they have to buy. Look at that. Their domain is expired. Wonder if they know that. I should probably email them. Anyway, so there's another one. The Barron Hurricane Index is another one, similar. It takes all factors into account, potentials. But anyway, all right, so I was starting to show something. Oh, I want to look at some high resolution modeling here real quick. And then we'll chit chat. So here's a good one. Well, actually, we got one on the storm, but we can watch this one. This is cool. This is on the DuPage site. Let me leave this up. Let's see. Alabama, I'd be watching, yes. Hey, Taylor, I don't know. I got haters out there. I got somebody emails me all the time making fun of me for saying Euro, but I went to Levi's site, and all Levi's post says Euro. My buddy Dennis Phillips says Euro. So I'm just copying my heroes. So here's the latest, man. Look at that. You can see some big bubbling going on, man. These are highest cloud tops bubbling away down here. Center somewhere right here underneath this biggest convection spot. So we can start to see low-level spinach right below this, and right there is where I would expect center is, where the deepest convection is currently. And the big question we're all going to watch the next 2 days is this. If it comes down here and crosses land and disrupts that center, it takes a long time to develop a low-level center circulation. And it would be more like a sloppy subtropical elongated system if it were to do that. And that would bring the rains to Florida, no matter where the landfall is, because a sloppy, wide, subtropical type system, elongated low, has all the action wider from center. That would only occur if this thing pops down into Mexico, gets drunk, drinks tequila, and comes out a drunk donkey. But the NAC is not buying it, and the latest Euro is showing it hang right off the coast here. So the coast is actually some hurricane force field keeping it in the bay. The Bay of Campeche. All right, so what else is cooking? Let's see if the 12Z models came out. Nope, still not out yet. They are running late. Let's see. Here's a good map. We got the windy map. We love the windy map. This is the Euro. It always defaults to the Euro, just so you know. We'll put it in motion. It's a cool map. This is Tuesday. This hangs down the bay tomorrow morning. Still in the same exact spot. Terrible rains for all these folks, though, down this neck of the woods. Lots of rain in the mountains. So here's tomorrow morning. Look at that. Low stays right along the coast. And then it starts to think about pulling northward Thursday morning. 998 is a prediction. But then Friday it still hangs around. And then it shoots up. So Saturday, 6 a.m. And then it makes that trek northward. Saturday, 8 p.m. And then Saturday, 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Or Sunday, not Saturday. And here's Sunday night, right here. Sunday night, we could see this getting awfully close to a landfall here. And that's been real consistent. So it's going to have a little window here. It's going to have a couple days, Saturday to Sunday, for strengthening. And it moves pretty quick, actually. Once it gets moving, man, it gets sandwiched in between there and really gets rolling. The GFS, a lot weaker system. Now, see the GFS? This is crazy. The GFS is showing more of that sloppy type setup. Oh, and look at this. This is exactly why. This is what it shows. So the GFS is showing landfall tonight. Here's tomorrow. Low is over land. Breaks it all up and brings it out as a big, wide, subtropical type system. Look at that. Big, wide, center, elongated. This would be Saturday, 9 a.m. And we could possibly then see, like we talk about, a weaker system is going to bring stuff well displaced from the center. And this could be Sunday, 2 p.m. right here. So Saturday, 7 p.m. So boating, no matter what, boating does not look good on the weekend, regardless of anybody in the Gulf, as we could have winds all around the Gulf. This is Saturday. East side to be okay, or west side. Joe, yep, that's what they're talking about. I mean, if it completely dissipates, it would actually start out as another piece of vorticity off of the CAG. And full moon on the 5th, interesting. Yeah, it'll definitely affect something. Holy cow, heck yeah. We could look at some surge maps. Let's see. But yeah, you're right. It would be a new system. That would be Dolly. But I don't know if I'm buying that one yet. The steering currents right now are extremely weak. And right here you can see it. There's just very little steering currents right now. So there's really nothing tugging at it to go south. We have a high pressure to the east, and those upper level winds will be coming in from the south side. So, I just don't see it dipping down into the Mexico that far. So let's look at some surge stuff here real quick. Where do I have that hiding? Surge map. Nope, not that one. I like this one. I like this one. This is my better. Oh, forbidden. What the freak's going on with these sites? Why is this not working now? Why is everybody's sites decide to stop working during hurricane season? Look at that. A real-time... Bummer. What'd they do? We just saw that. We just watched it on the last storm. Crazy. This is just what-if scenarios. I don't like these. The other one was a real live... I have to email them because they actually sent me the link to use, to share, to spread the love. And now I'm forbidden. That's not me. It's probably everybody. Forbidden. Let's see. Anything cooking now I can read. Yeah, upper shear is weak. Showed all that. We're just watching real time. Hurricane hunters are going out today, which is great. We'll get to see some real life information, right? All right, what else we got? Purge the cache. Wonky. Oh my God! I hope we didn't have our weather sites rioted. We need them. Yep, no school today. No 10 a.m. Let's see. Landfall predictions, Timothy. Still, to me, the highest probability is eastern Texas and Louisiana. That bubble, state line, draw a circle around the state line. I mean, that seems like we're going to see this bend. The slower, see, here's the deal. So the NHC is predicting Sunday now here. That high pressure is coming. The UK already shows it way up here somewhere before it turns. So this turn is coming. So there you go. The turn is coming. The turn. Florida Keys, yeah, you're just going to get some rocky, rainy weather, unfortunately. We have an upper level disturbance currently. Let's see if we can look at some other stuff. Maybe we can see it on the weather nerd site. But there's an upper level high over Florida now, and it's going to be creating some divergence between the two regions, and that's some of this coming ahead of it. You can kind of see it here. And we'll put it in motion. But all around the Keys, I mean, it'll be spotty rains. It's not going to be a washout, but windy for sure. Boating is going to be rough. Greg, that possibility is for sure. I mean, you know, all of them are showing a hard northwest turn. So Houston's too close to not be watching close, that's for sure. All right, so here's our juicy mess. We're actually getting some of this convection getting close to Florida. It's just the outer bands of this thing. But you can see this whole general setup here is trying to develop. And we got a lot of good sites here on my site. If you link, starting to get some wind maps or wind reports, so we can start tracking a little more. You know, get some wind analysis, which are cool to look at. All these cool things, you know, showing real life windage. I like looking at these. Kind of gives you an idea. It's a big, broad system, but definitely large. So it's not going to be a tiny little guy. The tiny little guys spin up quicker too. That's the good news. Tiny little hurricanes have more chance to develop into more intense hurricanes. So this one's definitely a larger low pressure area, and that at least will help slow major development that could happen quick. So anyway, get prepared, Whitney. Correct, man. I got some great links on my site on the very, very top, right above the NHC stuff. National Weather Service has a hurricane plan site, which is great. What to do before the storm. And they also have a prepare site, how to prepare for a storm. Kind of the same thing, but a lot of good information. Be ready for hurricane season. So that's on my site if you want some information. Cool. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Temperatures in the Gulf, yep, they're hotter than, a little hotter than normal. 86 here in Tampa, 80, so it's definitely in the 80s. This one doesn't show you, but 87 in Naples already. That's hot, man. Can you believe it's almost 90 degrees water temp? Let's see. I'll check that out, Wyatt. Louis. Oh, Louis. I forgot about Louis. Louis over there. Louis, come here. He's snoring. Forgot about Louis. Yeah, buy toilet paper. I actually texted Julie. We were out of toilet paper today. I was like that. And we were, though. We weren't hoarding it. We were just out of toilet paper. Oh, man. It's fun. All right. What else there? Long-term, Delvin. I haven't seen anything really brewing. So that's good news. Usually we get these early season spikes, and then we take like a month in July. Everybody gets kind of complacent, thinking the hurricane season's over. And then, bam, it hits us. So there's really nothing showing up long-term. He's not coming. I better go get him. Likelihood of hitting Florida. Well, what part of Florida? Panhandle definitely has a outside chance. Peninsula, I haven't seen hardly any models to make you worry about that. The only thing about being on the east side of the storm is if it does go straight due north, I mean, Florida's going to get a lot more impacts as far as our, spiraling rains and stuff, and that's the weekend. So if you got weekend plans, watch it close. If you're in Florida, you kind of want to push the system out a little more west because that would pull everything out tighter to it and leave the peninsula almost dry on Saturday, Sunday. So some of the rain forecasts are going to be a bust for Florida depending on what Cristobal decides to do. David, yes, Uh, Definitely. Well, there is technically an eye. Well, currently it's not going to make a new eye. It's kind of well defined, but if it does dissipate and come out, surely it'll be a whole possibly new system if that were to happen. The only thing about that is it's going to have very little time because once this sucker gets out into the Gulf, it's only got a couple days before a landfall. So if it loses its characteristics and goes over land in Mexico, it's not going to have hardly any time to really be much more than a tropical storm as it pulls northward. It'll be a wide-eyed tropical storm if it dissipates over Mexico. So that's the big thing. And the next day, if we don't see this thing drifting south, then that scenario is almost off, and we're looking at a slow developing hurricane, potential hurricane. Here's the GFS. See, now the GFS is showing a wide, sloppy system. This is Thursday, but let me just show you. All right, here we go. So this would be Friday night. Big, wide, low pressure system, and it just kind of big blobby mess. So here, this is so typical of a subtropical type system. This would be Sunday. Potential landfall is a 995 tropical storm, Louisiana. But look at the rains. Big blob of rain here just off the west coast of Florida. Big old blob of rain coming. That's because that would be just disorganized, big, wide, low pressure area. And then a secondary blob even on Monday. So that's where the GFS is kind of going at odds against the euro right now. But it is the odd one out. There are plenty of other models showing a lot stronger system. Icon showing that. Let's go to the hurricane specific models, the HWRF. Let's see what it's doing. Oof, it's hard to see, I know, but where the heck is that? I don't even know. That looks like Texas. All right, so it doesn't go out far enough for us to see, though. It only goes out 126 hours. So it keeps it weak, 999. And the H mod a little stronger in the 980s. So it's kind of odd that the euro is the outlier right now as far as strength goes. But I've showed, CMC is 980 something. But I showed the ensembles enough to show that we have potential for a hurricane. And unfortunately, we could have a last day on approach of strengthening. Gulf blob and squalls could intensify our little guy into a little bit more. In fact, we got some new models that they just added. Ryan May added some hurricane models, which are pretty neat. So we got more toys to play with now. I have to learn them, but these are your GFS or European ensembles. And the good thing is, majority of them, there's some hovering 960 pressure, 960-ish. But, some are around 1,000 too. So these are the latest ensembles. You can see where it's pretty much honing in. He added a little bitty, he calls them SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. These are all the different ensemble points. Kind of a cluster. But it's fun to play with. Weather geeks, right? Alright, so that's that. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. We'll call it off, and I'll put it online again. I got a lot of models to be looking at. We have a new NHC update in about 30 minutes. Oh, Louie. Let me go get Louie. Come here, buddy. Come on, Louie. Hey, buddy. Come here. Come here. What do you think? Everybody wants to say hi. Oh, there he is. There's our boy. There's Hurricane Louie. 2 years old now. And I'm teaching him to wave. Watch. Wave. Wave. Come on. So he's our boy. Anyway, he's our mascot. We'll start doing some meet and greets here in Tampa. We brought him last year to the Troubled Waters Brewery when we had our beer. And people got to meet Louie, right? So Emily was walking Louie at Daytona Beach for the NASCAR race last year. And somebody said, "Hey, is that Hurricane Louie?" You're famous, buddy. You're famous. So he's my buddy. We actually got a little brother coming for him. So we're gonna have two of these little guys running around. So he needed a buddy to hang out with when we go camping and go to NASCAR races. Rusty's just too old and can't get around anymore. Definitely can't go camping. He's blind. We love him. His days are numbered. We wanted to get a second dog after Rusty passed, but the opportunity came to get one from the same breeder and the same color. And all the girls are fighting over what to name him. So I want to name him Lefty. Sarah wants to name him Woody. I kind of like Woody. Emily wants to name him Stitch, like Louie and Stitch. And Julie wants to name him Max. Or Spike. So, yeah, Cindy, another one, man. Yeah, Whitney, it happens, man. But hey, we're cool. He's had a good life. 12 years old, man. Right? All right, Louie, I'm going to put you down. Wake up. All right. Yeah, I can go to Beer Can. Never been there before, Aaron. Are you local? We have a Beer Can Island. Oh, maybe you're not Tampa. I don't even know where you're at. We have a Beer Can Island here in Tampa. Stitch. Louie and Stitch. We can call him Spinach. Storm. Louie and Stitch is kind of funny. You know what rhymes with Stitch? You know what he's going to do if he pees on the floor? I'm going to have to say, "Stitch, you bitch." All right. Any more questions? I don't know. Hey, we've been talking about this storm. I look back. We started talking about it the 20th of May, about this possibility of this whole thingamajiggy we've been watching. I can't believe it. And it's happening. It's happening. All right, anything else? Let's see. Stitch is cute. Thanks, doctors. Flood event. Brian, we talked about that. Good point. So far, there does not seem to be any lingering storm after landfall. So that's good. You're going to get your normal pockets of, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches of rain possibly. But so far, I don't see any modeling that's showing a stall like we saw with Imelda or Harvey. So that's the good news. Wider system, it's going to push more water. So definitely surge event we have to watch out for, increased wave height. Somebody mentioned full moon on the 5th. I have a cool little map too. I don't even hardly look at it. I kept it on my site though. But if you go down on the bottom here, I have a day and night world map. And if you click on this, it tells you all kinds of stuff. Where the sun's at right now, where the moon's at. Moon phases. So there you go. Full moon, June 5th. It's a strawberry moon. Whatever the hell that means. Wild strawberries start to ripen in early summer. Give the name to the strawberry moon. Oh, there you go. That makes sense. So Plant City folks, this is your moon on Friday. Is it Friday the 5th? Yep. So strawberry moon on Friday. Strawberry moon forever. Or something. Full moon. Yeah, who knows? Woody's. I love Woody. Dale's Link. Nope. But yeah, Texas makes sense. If you're just kind of joining, we're seeing this hard turn to the northwest that does appear likely. No hard turn to the northeast. No models have shown that yet to worry about. So that's good. Trends are our friends. The only trend we're seeing is a slowly strengthening hurricane, possibly. But with Michael, the difference is we saw modeling that showed Cap 3, 4, 5. And Wasn't going out on a limb there either, but there was so much model support showing that is why I started showing it. This is not showing modeling past a category 2, for example. So I believe it could get to a category 2 based on what I've seen. It does not have a lot of time over the water if it maintains its center currently. So that's the only difference here, is that it's a different time of the year. And so, you know. So there you go. Makes sense? Yep. Yep, 3 days out, man. All 5, I think we've had 5 or 4. 4. I don't know, but every category 5 hurricane that's struck the United States, CONUS United States, has been a tropical storm 3 days out. That's a very interesting tidbit, right? Oh, there you go. Strawberry season coming. Gulf's explosive, correct? Northeast through Wednesday. Well, that could just be normal summertime pattern stuff. Wesley, no, just said it could. No. Not jumping it, just saying. I think that would be the max it could reach. Let's see. It's something coming off of 4. There you go, Stokes. There you go. No more tidbits, I know. But this is a totally different setup. Don't see how this could be that. But hey, weather is tricky, right? If this thing doesn't go any farther south and maintains a nice shield around center, you know, that's where you're going to start hearing wordage from the National Hurricane Center. You're going to have to be the possibility of a possible hurricane. Gulf Coast, be prepared. That's because if this thing sits right here like it's showing and doesn't go any farther south, then it's going to have time to start deepen and get those lower pressures and not be disrupted. So a little bit of lightning there by center, usually a sign of strengthening. So I would bet a bazillion dollars that this is crystable at any moment, maybe by the 11 o'clock advisory. So we'll see. Hey, buddy, or Crystal. I thought that was Casper. Crystal. The UK. God, I think it's on the Euro schedule. Maybe a little earlier. I think the UK comes out around 1 p.m. ish Eastern time. Wordage? Did I say wordage? Hey, Bobby, what's up? Our Hurricane Harbor girl. I saw Jim Cantori tweeted you today. I'm jealous. He said hi to you. My buddy Brandon, Storm Chaser guy, he's going to be out there chasing it. So hopefully I can share some cool video. Pensacola, yeah, actually, it will bring you rain and wind. There's no doubt. Something likely. You guys are right on that edge of, for sure, timing will start Saturday for you guys. Are we within 90 hours? What day is today? Nope. It's Tuesday. So we're still too far out for high resolution radaring to really get a sense of anything. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is going to be a very fluid like that. It's going to be a very fluid map here, because if this takes the path of the Icon and CMC and the Euro and bends more to the west, the rains in Florida are going to be less from it. And we'll have more up here. All this will shift. Right? Cool. How strong, John? That's $1 million question. Officially, the 5-day forecast, and if you look at trends, the NHC is slowly bumping up their predictions. It's 65 mile an hour. Here's the current radar, by the way. Let's look at it. It's 65 mile an hour expected on day 5. After day 5, it's 70, 75. Hey, Kathleen, I don't see the shear as a major hurdle currently in the Gulf. I got to look better at some longer range models, but shear changes so quick that, you know, I usually look at the Jetstream for here's the Icon model, by the way, and that thing turns. All of them turn northwest. All of them. All the storms turn northwest. Rusty, you want to lay down, buddy? I think Rusty wonders who I'm talking to. He's like, my dad talks to somebody for like an hour and they never talk back. Southeast Texas. Ooh. Southeast Texas. You better be watching close. Could be a hurricane. Yep, Richard, that's the Euro track, by the way. Just so you know, the windy.com is awesome. I love it. But I even put a note right here. The above map defaults to the Euro model. So when you go to Windy, all it's doing is showing you the Euro forecast. And it's down here, the bottom right. You can change it to the NAM or you can change it to GFS. Let's look at the Navy model. I haven't looked at that one yet. So that's the Euro. When the Windy's right, it's because it was you're looking at the Euro model. And most times the Euro's right. Sometimes it's wrong. Oh, here's the Navy model. It's showing straight due north. And see, here again, this is that timing thing. So the Navy's showing pulling straight north. This would be Sunday morning. Slower system, more time to turn. Watch, and I bet you it turns. See, now it turns. I didn't even look at it. So they're all going to turn. This is Monday morning. The difference being the Euro is predicting landfall a day later, allowing a slower movement north than the turn. So there's a Navy, 986, 984, possible hurricane, for sure. Right, smack dab over Whitney. So there's Whitney waving. There's that. So we stopped at the House of Beer in Dunedin this week. Oh my God, they had this beer called Peach something. I don't even know what it was. Oh my God, it was so good. I was like, oh. Here's a little zoomed in close to the Navy. Navy's not the best model, but it's one model. So 984, again, that could be hurricane, no doubt. They're, east side, obviously the winds. West side of systems get very, very little. It's very frustrating for people that prepare for a hurricane, let's say, and the hurricane shifts 10 miles east and you get almost nothing. I remember Hurricane Charlie. I don't even think we had a cloud in Tampa Bay. So there you go. That's the east side. So there's the Navy. Let's look at some zoomed in here. The GFS, again, sloppy, more subtropical system, ugly mess. GFS is betting that Cristobal dies and a low pressure emerges off the Yucatan, leaving no time to develop. Euro, again, here you go, a little higher resolution. This is on Tropical Tidbits, by the way, and it only goes in 24-hour increments, this site, but still strong. See, it's a fast mover. All of them are showing pretty quick, so it's not going to stop, not going to stall. It's going to keep moving. We could have inland impacts for sure. But this is, it'll be 970 by landfall. And that would be Monday morning. So there's a day difference. And then, the Icon's been pretty aggressive on modeling, but not necessarily the best model. But it's in line with the Euro. A little more east of the Euro. Anyway. What else is coming? Exactly, Bobby. So I love the emotions of hurricane tracking. It is so easy to get caught up in one run to the next. And I go to Weather Underground. It's a great site. There's people that have chat rooms in there and stuff. And my God, it's like if the Euro showed a storm back-to-back runs and then the next run it's gone, it's like, oh, it's over. Done. Season's a bust. And I'm like, you can't make knee-jerk reactions on these storms. And the GFS has just done a 180 flip flop, and it has not caught up yet. You know, so that's why you can't go all in on one model. You just kind of have to use some common sense. You know, I guess the big snafu of the Euro is yesterday. It predicted this thing to go way down south and merge on the Yucatan and then be a sloppy low pressure area. But there was more ensembles that were saying, nope, 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 it's going to come out of here and maintain that center of circulation, and it's going to be a potential hurricane. So it went with its ensembles. That's why I look at the ensembles, because the ensembles are a look into the future. When you start to see trends on the ensembles, then the main operational run starts to do it too. So you can't go all in on, you know, one run or anything else. But there, you know, there's where the Euro's showing. A little spinach, right? Yeah, Sheila, you go there? You talk on Weather Underground? Yeah, Misha, I bet you it starts catching up. GFS is doing terrible job on this system. The Euro had it popping out as a hurricane that one run about a week ago, and then it backed off. But you know, you just can't do weather reporting on just one run. You have to somehow have a sixth sense and report that way. So, and there's some of the GFS ensembles, and there are a few 84, 94, 99. But that was on the last run. We can go back through time. Let's go back a couple days from now. See, a couple days ago, even Sunday. I mean, look at that. So this was Sunday, May 31st. The GFS was a lot more in line with the Euro. This is on Sunday. So it's been very consistent, though. All, you know, we've seen nothing but consistency. But again, it's banking on this thing diving down to Mexico and losing that center of circulation, which NHC is saying it's not going to do that. So they're pretty confident. They actually went up against the Euro yesterday because the Euro showed it was going to do that. They were using common sense. History repeats itself. Storms in the Bay of Campeche somehow survive. There we go. All right. No, it's fun. You know, Sheila, I learned a lot on there. I just like to read everybody else's stuff, you know. I don't see any other system Stephanie Hall right now. I haven't really looked long range, but nothing yet. Nothing. There's no chatter on anything yet. So, Louisiana, holy moly! I've said Louisiana. How many people have heard me say Louisiana at least once? Sorry, Perk. I have a lot. You guys are in the heart of it. Definitely the heart of it, with a slight chance of going to the east, but more of a chance of it going into Texas. So, you know, Southeast Texas, Louisiana, my go-to spot, and Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama would be like 20%. So I would go 75% Texas, Louisiana, 20% Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, 5% Florida Panhandle. Sue, you're tired of me? Why am I, Wesley, what are you talking about? I don't know Louisiana. I usually get yelled at for not talking about Mississippi. And there is a truth to that. Nobody ever says Mississippi. So last year I joked, I opened up a show one time and I said Mississippi 10 times in a row. So that way they couldn't say I never said Mississippi. Yep, Whitney pissed somebody off in our chat room, and now the storm's coming right at them. So here's the 5-day window. New forecast comes out, and this will be what it shows. There's my graphic I did right before I came on, but this will be the new circle. We'll have a new circle. So it'll be, the new circle will look like this. Showing more of a bendage. And then we're going to have this. Whoops, I did it again. We're going to have that like that. Then we're going to have this like that. And it's too early, I think. I don't know. Probably too early. But if not now, it will soon. It'll look like that. So, and then the next line will come out, and it'll be like this. Boom, boom. See, that's the trend. The trends are your friends. Anyway, hey Bill, I think it'll be a low. You know, I definitely think hurricane's a possibility. I could see the outside chance going to a Category 2, just based on the timing. If it's it's got 2 days over water. Water heat maps, potential maps are not like they are in summer, but they're definitely capable of supporting a 2. And outside, I don't know. I don't want to say major hurricane, but none of the models are showing that, so I don't want to go off that. So I think a low-end hurricane up to 2 is the outside range. And that's only because it's going to have an extra day. Now, if it does take this northerly track up more towards, the Gulf, let's just say like that, it's going to have a day less. This scenario has a day less. This scenario has a day more. So that day more gives it a little more chance to strengthen. I never made it to the Loop Eddy site. Good catch. Loop Eddy. Where's my Loop Eddy? Loop Eddies are hot water. This is on the Earth New School site. So here's your Gulf Stream, and here is a Loop Eddy. That's a warm pocket of water spinning around in the Gulf of Mexico. So it has a little hotter water down deep, spinning away. So a little extra fuel for this sucker. Good point. I mean, I talk about them a lot. I forgot today, but definitely this would be going right over it. So that's a little more fuel. The MJO's positive, water temperature's hotter than normal, and this. So, and shear's less. So it's got a lot of stuff going for it. There's no dust, no African dust to worry about with this system. All the dust is way far away. This is a great site on our buddy Bay News 9, but there's your heavy dust out in the Atlantic. Nothing really in our neck of the woods to worry about for that. No really dry air. Things you look at. Precipitable water map, another good site. Very little dry air. All this is green air or moisture. Here's your animated precipitable water map. It's a great tool to look at. Shows you the amount of moisture in the air. Got that dry air coming down from the backside, but nothing here. So the Gulf's spinning, juice. So the only negative this system has right now is its proximity to land, and it's a large system. And larger systems have a little bit longer time to develop. And so starting to get some black cloud tops here, right where center is. So it's definitely exploding as we speak. Starting to get some heavier signs of lightning. So definitely right around here is our center, 20 north. Cool. Fast moving. Emily, her elbow, great. Oh boy, Emily hurt her elbow doing jumping jacks. What does that mean? All right, hey Cindy, at Golf Temps Hot. So anyway, that's it. All right, I better find out what's going on with Emily. She probably try to call. So we got 1,000 people hanging on. All right, so I'll be updating. We got the new update any minute. I'll be ready to update that. Obviously, it's coming out real soon. We'll see if I'm closing all my Famous Windows here. Look at that, man. My desktop was kicking today. I didn't have any outages. Man, I broke my record for Windows Open. We'll leave it on this one right here. So, all right. Anything else? Last second. Cool beans. Thank you guys and girls. I'll be streaming live. It'll be Cristobal soon. Hurricane Hunters are going in. I'll post the information on that. You can follow it on a lot of sites, but of course I always link Tropical Tidbits. We can watch the Hurricane Hunters, and really it's just the next 2 days we got to wait and see before it takes off. It's going to pull northward. I guess the big thing we're going to watch is how much it drifts to the south. There's very weak steering currents right now. If it does not hit land and that center stays intact, then we got to worry about a potential hurricane for the upper Gulf Coast this weekend. So that's everything in a nutshell. Right. All right. So be good. We'll see you tomorrow. I think my chat stopped, by the way, so I haven't seen nothing. Oh, my phone's stuck. Oh, well. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, 9:19, right? Same time, same place. We'll see you.